Before we started chapter 1, I thought this was interesting. What it says in Truth and Science, it doesn't say this in Truth and Science, but it says it somewhere else with Steiner talking about truth and science.
Dancing fearless.
The complete plan of my book, The Philosophy of Freedom, can be found in the last chapter of my doctoral dissertation, Truth and Science. That's interesting. So I thought we'd run through that. I have some slides on what it says in there. Science and knowledge. The fundamental laws of the world regulate the whole of existence. The lawful harmony that reigns throughout the whole world reveals itself precisely in human cognition. So it starts out with the whole of existence operates lawfully, and then we can grasp those laws through human cognition. Human cognition includes the processes of thinking, perception, conception, and forming ideas. It's through human cognition that we acquire knowledge. And the next slide is science, knowledge, and human conduct. He's going to be working down to what he means by freedom. We'll get there soon. So science, knowledge, and human conduct. Our conduct is a part of the total world process. Consequently, it too is subject to the universal laws that regulate this process. Our conduct is, in its whole character, determined by our moral ideals. These are the ideas we have of our task in life, or in other words, of the ends which we set ourselves to achieve by our action. Moral ideals are the laws of human conduct. Conduct operates under laws. These are the goals we set and strive to achieve by taking action. So we create the laws for human conduct. Our aims, goals, and tasks we set for ourselves in life are laws that regulate our behavior, or they guide our behavior. Science, knowledge, and self-determinism. The apprehension of this conformity of human conduct to law is but a special case of knowledge. To apprehend oneself as a person who acts is to possess the relevant laws of conduct, i.e., the moral concepts and ideals in the form of knowledge. It is this knowledge of the conformity of our conduct to law which makes our conduct truly ours. So it's important that our action does conform to a lawfulness. Otherwise, self-determination would not be possible. So we set laws of conduct, which are the moral concepts and ideals. Science, knowledge, and human freedom. To gain knowledge of the laws of one's own conduct is to become conscious of one's freedom. Not all human conduct has this character. There are many cases in which we do not know the laws of our conduct. This part of our conduct is unfree. Over against it stands the part where the laws we make are completely our own. This is the realm of freedom. When we know why we act, then we know the idea that guides our action and are free, according to Truth and Science. When we do not know why we act, we are not free. That's very simply stated. So it's important to know why we act. And the way we know why we act is when we gain knowledge of the laws of our conduct. Now, it does talk about, in the Philosophy of Freedom, what's called the characterization of an action. After you act, you study the action to find the law that determined the action, to determine whether it was free or not. So if you discover the moral ideal or moral idea behind the action that you self-determined, well, then it's a free act. If you're unable to find that, or if it doesn't exist, then you may have been compelled by something other than yourself, and the action would not be free. Science, knowledge, and the path to freedom. This is particularly interesting. To transform the actions that are unfree into actions that are free, this is the task of self-development for every individual. The process of cognition is thus, according to our arguments, the process of the development of freedom. So the development of cognition is the path to freedom. I'm bringing up that cognitive chart again, as far as how the first 7 chapters of the Philosophy of Freedom are about the development of cognition. They're really about the emancipation of cognition. So now you can see why the first part of the book is all about cognition, because as we just read, that's the path to freedom. Because freedom is based on knowing why we act. So it's based on knowing. The development of cognition is how we deepen our knowing. So that ties it in with freedom.